There is a common misconception that attraction depends on constantly proving your interest, checking in often, or over-explaining your feelings. Many people think that showing how much you care or adjusting your schedule to match someone else's will make them more drawn to you. But true magnetic energy comes from the opposite approach. It is not about chasing attention or performing for validation. The most compelling connections happen when someone communicates confidence and emotional clarity. When your words show that you respect yourself, your time, and your energy, they carry a quiet strength that naturally draws others in. Certain phrases have an almost magnetic effect because they signal calm self-assurance rather than desperation. They let the other person know that you enjoy their company and connection, yet you are complete and fulfilled on your own. This balance between presence and independence sparks curiosity and motivates others to invest more effort. It does not create distance in a negative sense. Rather, it creates an environment where someone is inspired to show their best self. People are naturally drawn to those who are emotionally steady, who communicate boundaries without hostility, and who demonstrate that attention and care must be earned, not demanded. Attraction grows in space, in subtle emotional signals, and in the sense that being with you is an opportunity, not an entitlement. One of the most effective approaches is to convey that you have a meaningful, full life that you enjoy, and that spending time together is a choice rather than a necessity. When you communicate that you have your own passions, priorities, and direction, it dramatically changes the dynamic. Saying something like, "I enjoy spending time with you, but I also have a lot going on," may feel simple, but it carries immense weight. It signals that your attention is valuable and that being part of your world is something to earn rather than something given automatically. This is not manipulation. It is an honest reflection of self-respect. People are naturally intrigued by those who are independent and secure. They are more likely to engage sincerely when they recognize that their presence in your life is desired, not expected. By calmly expressing your own fullness and enjoyment of life, you invite the other person to step up without pressuring them, fostering a sense of curiosity and desire to participate in your world. Another powerful phrase focuses on encouraging intentional effort. Many people feel frustrated when someone shows interest but their actions are inconsistent. Instead of reacting with complaints or chasing validation, you can calmly express that you notice and appreciate intentionality. For instance, saying, "I value when someone shows care through their actions," highlights your expectations while maintaining composure. It sets a standard that effort and sincerity are noticed and meaningful. When someone recognizes that consistency matters, it motivates them to rise to the level of engagement that is appreciated, rather than taking connection for granted. This approach does not create pressure, resentment, or fear of loss. Instead, it gently communicates that you are emotionally mature, aware, and intentional about the relationships you allow into your life. People respond positively to clarity because it removes confusion and encourages authenticity. By communicating standards calmly and confidently, you create an environment where genuine effort is naturally rewarded and attraction is strengthened through meaningful interactions rather than superficial gestures. The third transformative phrase revolves around emotional independence. Instead of trying to control or manipulate how someone responds, you communicate comfort with your own life and feelings. Saying something like, "I enjoy being with you and I am fully content on my own," sends a message of emotional stability and security. Emotional independence is magnetic because it removes pressure from the interaction, allowing the other person to pursue freely without obligation. When someone senses that you are not relying on them for validation or happiness, they feel more respected and trusted, which inspires investment in the connection. This mindset transforms relationships by encouraging voluntary engagement rather than reactive behavior. People begin to chase naturally because they feel drawn to someone who is complete and confident rather than someone seeking approval or attention. It fosters authentic connection, where desire comes from genuine interest and appreciation, not from a sense of duty or compulsion. Over time, this calm, confident communication nurtures respect, curiosity, and sustained attraction. Ultimately, the effectiveness of these phrases is not in their literal words, but in the underlying mindset. When you value your time, maintain emotional clarity, and show self-respect, your communication reflects maturity and stability. People are instinctively drawn to those who carry themselves with quiet confidence because it signals security and emotional strength. You do not need to chase approval or validation. Instead, creating space for someone to step forward willingly leads to a deeper, more meaningful connection. Attraction grows when effort is freely offered, attention is appreciated but not demanded, and curiosity is sparked through independence and calm honesty. By embodying this approach, you inspire others to engage authentically and consistently, fostering relationships that are fulfilling, balanced, and mutually rewarding. It is a simple, yet powerful shift in mindset that changes the dynamics of connection. Understanding the dynamics of attraction begins with recognizing the subtle influence of your words. Often, people underestimate how much language shapes emotional responses. It is not about using clever lines or manipulation. It is about expressing self-respect, clarity, and intention in a way that naturally encourages someone to invest in the connection. Words carry energy, and the energy behind what you say can either invite closeness or create distance. Certain phrases work because they communicate confidence and emotional independence without seeming cold or dismissive. They indicate that you are a person with a full, meaningful life, and your attention is not given lightly. When someone senses that your presence is earned rather than automatic, they instinctively take note. The key is not in creating games or playing hard to get, but in quietly demonstrating that your time, attention, and emotional energy are valuable. People are naturally drawn to individuals who exhibit this balance of warmth and self-respect because it inspires curiosity and encourages them to engage sincerely. By using calm, intentional communication, you shift the dynamic from chasing approval to mutual appreciation. Attraction flourishes in an environment where both parties feel respected, valued, and free to show their authentic selves without pressure. One phrase that effectively builds attraction focuses on valuing your time while still expressing interest. Instead of constantly asking for attention or reassurance, you can calmly share that you enjoy connecting but also have other priorities. This conveys that you are independent and fulfilled, which paradoxically makes the connection more appealing. For example, saying something like, "I enjoy spending time with you when we can, and I also have a lot going on in my life," communicates that your attention is not given indiscriminately. It signals a sense of self-worth and purpose, which is magnetic because it demonstrates confidence. People are drawn to those who maintain their own world and pursue their own passions. This phrase also subtly challenges others to value your time and presence. When someone realizes that your attention is meaningful and not guaranteed, they naturally rise to meet the standard, investing effort in a way that feels genuine rather than forced. Attraction grows not from pressure but from curiosity and the recognition that connection with you is a choice. Another impactful phrase involves encouraging intentionality in how someone engages with you. When actions feel inconsistent, instead of expressing frustration or trying to control their behavior, calmly state that you appreciate genuine effort. A phrase like, "I notice and value when someone shows care through their actions," communicates your expectations without sounding critical or demanding. This approach emphasizes maturity and emotional awareness. It also creates an environment where someone who truly cares is motivated to show up consistently. By expressing these standards calmly and without judgment, you invite authentic investment in the relationship. People respond positively to clear boundaries because it removes uncertainty and signals that you respect yourself and your emotional needs. This phrase subtly encourages someone to pursue with sincerity, making attraction stronger and interactions more meaningful. It demonstrates that connection requires effort, which in turn heightens its value. The third phrase centers on emotional independence, highlighting that you enjoy connection without needing it to validate your worth. By expressing comfort in your own life, you remove pressure from the interaction and create space for genuine interest. Saying something like, "I enjoy our time together and I am content on my own," communicates that you are emotionally secure. This security is inherently magnetic because it signals stability and self-assurance. People are drawn to those who do not rely on others for validation or happiness, as it fosters respect and trust. When someone senses that connection is optional, they are more likely to pursue freely and authentically. Emotional independence encourages voluntary engagement rather than reactive behavior. It creates a dynamic in which someone desires to be with you because they genuinely want to, not because they feel obligated. Over time, this approach nurtures curiosity, respect, and sustained attraction, forming a healthy foundation for meaningful connection. Attraction is less about what you do and more about how you communicate your inner sense of value and independence. Many people fall into the trap of over-explaining themselves, apologizing unnecessarily, or trying to fill every silence with words to keep someone interested. However, the real power lies in restraint, clarity, and confidence. When you communicate calmly and intentionally, you give signals that your attention is meaningful and that your emotional energy is not available to everyone indiscriminately. Certain phrases have the ability to convey this effortlessly because they balance warmth with independence. They show that you enjoy connection without needing it to validate your worth. When someone senses this type of self-respect, it naturally draws them in because people are inherently attracted to those who carry emotional stability and quiet confidence. By speaking in ways that reflect your boundaries, priorities, and emotional clarity, you create an environment where the other person wants to invest their energy. Curiosity is sparked, and engagement feels voluntary rather than pressured. Attraction is nurtured not through intensity or insistence, but through the subtle balance of availability and independence, warmth and boundaries, and openness without neediness. One phrase that demonstrates this balance focuses on valuing your own life and priorities while remaining approachable. Instead of seeking constant reassurance or scheduling your entire life around someone else, you calmly communicate that your world is full and meaningful. For instance, saying, "I enjoy spending time with you, and I also have many passions and responsibilities I focus on," signals that your attention is not automatically given, but shared intentionally. This approach is magnetic because it communicates independence and self-respect without appearing distant or uninterested. It invites the other person to rise to the level of effort you naturally expect, while creating curiosity about your life and perspective. People are more likely to engage meaningfully when they feel they are choosing to participate in someone's world rather than being passively granted access. This phrase reinforces a healthy dynamic where attraction grows through voluntary effort, genuine interest, and the recognition that connection is a mutual choice, not an obligation. Another phrase that strengthens attraction emphasizes recognizing and valuing sincere effort. Instead of expressing frustration over inconsistent actions or chasing validation, calmly acknowledging intentional behavior communicates that you appreciate consistency and thoughtfulness. Saying something like, "I notice when someone genuinely invests in our connection and it means a lot," establishes a standard without criticism or pressure. This type of communication encourages someone to meet your expectations naturally because they understand that authentic effort is noticed and rewarded. Attraction increases when people feel their actions have impact and meaning. By conveying standards clearly and confidently, you encourage meaningful participation and discourage behavior that takes your attention for granted. The energy behind these words signals maturity, emotional awareness, and a respect for yourself and others, which makes engagement feel more purposeful and satisfying. The third phrase revolves around expressing emotional independence, communicating that you are comfortable and fulfilled on your own while enjoying someone's company removes the pressure from interactions. Phrases like, "I enjoy spending time with you and I am fully content in my life" convey stability and calm confidence. Emotional independence is inherently attractive because it signals that you are secure and not reliant on others for validation or happiness. When someone senses that connection is optional, they are naturally motivated to pursue it genuinely. This dynamic encourages voluntary effort, curiosity, and sustained engagement. By embodying this mindset and speaking with intentional calm, you inspire respect, authentic interest, and a deeper level of attraction that grows naturally without manipulation or neediness, creating a foundation for meaningful and balanced connections. Attraction is profoundly influenced by the way you communicate your values, boundaries, and sense of self. Many people mistakenly believe that being liked or desired depends on constant validation, frequent messages, or over-explaining their emotions. In reality, the most compelling presence comes from calm confidence and emotional clarity. When your words reflect that your attention and time are valuable, you communicate a quiet strength that naturally draws others in. Certain phrases are particularly effective because they balance warmth with independence, showing that you enjoy connection without being dependent on it. This balance creates curiosity and encourages others to engage sincerely, not out of obligation, but from genuine interest. By expressing yourself in a way that communicates boundaries, self-respect, and emotional stability, you create a magnetic energy that inspires effort and attention. People are instinctively attracted to those who carry their own sense of fulfillment because it signals that interactions are meaningful, not incidental. The power of language lies not in clever tactics or manipulation, but in the authentic reflection of your self-worth, which encourages voluntary and respectful engagement from others. A phrase that demonstrates this concept effectively conveys that your life is full, meaningful, and independent. Instead of adjusting your world around someone or constantly seeking their approval, you express that your attention is intentional. For example, saying, "I enjoy spending time with you, and I also have a lot I focus on in my life," communicates that your connection is a choice rather than an obligation. This is magnetic because it establishes a standard without appearing distant or uninterested. People are naturally drawn to those who have purpose and direction, and when they sense that your presence is not guaranteed, they are motivated to invest effort. By expressing your independence calmly, you inspire curiosity and genuine engagement, creating a dynamic where connection is earned and appreciated. This approach encourages others to participate meaningfully, fostering a sense of respect, intrigue, and authentic attraction that grows naturally over time. It is a subtle yet powerful way to invite someone to step forward without pressuring them, reinforcing the value of their attention. Another phrase that strengthens attraction emphasizes recognizing and valuing consistent effort. Instead of expressing frustration over inconsistency or chasing reassurance, calmly acknowledging intentional behavior sets a clear standard. A phrase like, "I notice when someone genuinely invests in our connection, and it means a lot," communicates maturity and emotional awareness. It subtly encourages the other person to show their best self because they understand that sincere effort is seen and appreciated. This creates a dynamic where attraction grows from voluntary engagement rather than pressure. By conveying expectations calmly, you foster meaningful interaction, discourage taking attention for granted, and invite authenticity. People respond positively to clarity because it removes confusion and demonstrates respect for both yourself and the relationship. Consistency becomes rewarding and connection feels purposeful rather than superficial, strengthening emotional bonds naturally. The third phrase focuses on emotional independence, highlighting comfort and fulfillment in your own life while enjoying someone's company. Saying, "I enjoy our time together and I am fully content in my own life," communicates security and self-assurance. Emotional independence is inherently attractive because it signals stability and removes pressure from the other person. When connection is optional rather than necessary for validation, people are motivated to pursue freely and authentically. This creates a healthy dynamic where engagement comes from genuine interest and curiosity rather than obligation or fear of loss. By embodying this mindset, your words naturally inspire respect, sustained attention, and deeper attraction. It cultivates a balanced and meaningful connection